The final bushes to be installed on this subframe is this one here, which is the rear lower lateral arm to chassis bush. According to the Strongflex pack, I believe that's the right one. The only thing that's concerning me slightly is that this looks like it's the bush, but it's actually slightly loose. I mean, it's not, you know, obviously some of them I've been able to push in by hand, but these ones are, whoops. But these ones are so loose that they actually slide out, look, and they slop around in the housing. Now, once the steel insert has been installed, it may expand out a bit, but I think I need to check. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. So there's that bush to do, and then there's a bush to go here. And I'll have to work out which one that is. So it goes just there. And then the other thing that connects onto the subframe is something that goes here, which in this case I'm fairly certain is a ball joint. So that's not going to be in this pack because it doesn't include ball joints. And then we've got that there, which will be another bush, but it will be in one of the control arms. So once I come to assemble the control arms with all the bushings, then that will fit in there, and matching one down the bottom there. But this is the most concerning thing, is just how loose this is in here. It just doesn't seem right. So even though the bushes are quite loose, when you just push the poly bush in, once you put the sleeve in, it seems to tighten it right up. And I did actually leave a gap between the flange on the bush and the subframe, and I tried twisting it and it doesn't move, and I think it's fairly solid. So the answer is it tightens up when you put the sleeve in. So that's done both of those. They're both in. So now there are two remaining bushes to be done just on the subframe itself, and that's this one here and the matching one at the bottom. Here are the bushes that I was sent, plus, you know, all these spread out on here. There's an opportunity for Strongflex here to improve their product. One of the problems seems to be that the bags are too small for all of the bushes, and so they split, which means that I have to take them all out, and luckily on the bush itself it's got the number imprinted, and the Strongflex website has, or the Strongflex UK website, no, this is Strongflex EU. Yeah, the Strongflex EU website has these diagrams, and they've got all the part numbers and the positions of the bushes. The trouble is, it's okay for the bushes, but these sleeves have no markings. And so I had all of these sleeves washing around in the bottom of this box, and I'm going to have to check the sizes to make sure they're all the same, or if there are differences, I need to understand which ones go where. Just as a rough comparison, I've sort of put them side by side, and I think they're the same size. All of the ones out of the bags that have split, I think they're all the same size. But it is a bit of a nuisance, quite honestly. So that would be good if they could just make sure they're put in bags that are big enough to accommodate them. I'm going to stick them in these freezer bags and mark them up, because I don't want to keep having to sort through this box of stuff every time I want to install an additional bush. The next bush I need to install is this one just here, which is the one I just showed you on the actual subframe, and the part number for that is 31590. In fact, there are lots of bushes with the same part number, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should have 8 complete sets to cover both sides of the car. So I've got some out here on the bench and the rest of them are in this torn bag here. So I think that should cover everything. Luckily, the ones that remain in the bag have got sleeves in them. So if I compare the size of those sleeves against the sleeves that were in the bottom of the cardboard box, I should be able to work out which ones match up. Now I have them all bagged up. I've discovered, in fact I recounted the number needed on the diagram on the computer, and there are 5 of these bushes each side. So you should have 10 outer sleeves, 10 inner sleeves, and 20 of the poly pieces. One thing to watch out for is that I had another piece floating around in the bottom of the box. Notice the curved end to that. That's the curved end. That's actually used elsewhere, and I think that's associated with a bush that's got a number. This is the one next to it, which is 031591 instead of 590. So I think that goes with that one, that bag split as well. So they were all washing around in the bottom of the box as well. So on to the next installation. This is the one, hopefully you can see that we just did, which is for the camber arm. And this one is for the trailing arm. So we have to install this sleeve first. And once we've done that, we put the plastic inserts inside the sleeve, and then there's an insert, another inner sleeve that inserts in there. So all we're going to do is drag this through the subframe, which I think is going to be a bit of a challenge, but we'll crack on anyway. We'll start with plenty of silicone grease around this. And then this will be off camera a bit, but I'm just going to put some silicone grease around the actual outside of the sleeve. Okay, so that's how it's going to fit. Actually balances there, that's bound to fall on the floor, but let's just see if we can get away with that. And then we need these parts here, so this goes through here, this goes on the outside, and then this nut. I'm using the biggest bar I've got, which I think, as I said before, is 18mm. Now this is only going to get the sleeve in flush with the on this side, and somehow I'm going to have to figure out how to pull it the last bit, but I'll figure out that in a minute. Doesn't help doing this left-handed. If you're right-handed like me. So it gives a bit after a while, and suddenly it starts to go in a bit easier. Okay, so that's now solid against. The sleeve is obviously butted up against this this part of the tool here, so I need to undo it now. Okay, so far so good. Now this sleeve from my extraction kit is just big enough to allow one of these bush sleeves to go through. So that's just about the right size. And what I'm going to try and do is balance it on the end there and then pull the bush through the rest of the distance. Okay, hopefully I'm good to go. I'll need to just judge this. It's supposed to be equal depth or an equal amount protruding each side, so that looks about right. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to just keep taking it off and looking. No, not quite enough. Needs to go a little bit more. Of course, what I should have done is measured the sleeve and done the calculations, but I'm this far into it now, might as well finish it. Okay, I definitely think that's far enough. I think I've pulled it through slightly too far now. Yeah. I have to pull it back just a smidge. But hopefully it means that you won't fall into the same trap. So let's have another go. That's right. So I just think I need to just push that through back just a little bit. Okay, that'll do. That'll do. I think I'll probably get away with 1 or 2 mil inaccuracy anyway. Now we just need to stick some more of this lovely silicone grease around here. I've got grease and hammerite, not to worry. Clean that up. Now the grease up the polybush parts. Hopefully this will just press in as it did. These are the same ones as I installed on the, I installed some on some link arms, which I'll show you another day, but there you go. They go in really easily. Okay, and in the other side, easy peasy. Good. And finally, need to install the inner sleeve. So, stick some of this stuff in here. So there's the inner sleeve. We'll stick some grease around that as well. There you go. Can I get it started? Can I get it in there? No, not all the way. Okay. So now we'll resort to our old friend, the extraction kit. That bar's too big. How about this one? Yep, that'll work. Like that. What should we put on the other side? I guess that would, yeah, that comes flat against the rubber, so that should be alright actually. So let's go that way round. Alright, looking good. Just do this up the side. Not much force required here. Should pull through pretty easily. Got a bit enough left on the nut at the other end. Okay, I think it's just about there. Okay, so I just want to get it flush. If I keep pushing, because there's a cutout on the other side on this part of the tool, it will pull the insert too far in, so we'll leave it at that. Can I get it undone that way? Yes, I can. Yeah, it's not quite pulled through, but actually by the time I get the trailing arm bolted on there, it's going to squash it all down anyway, so I think that'll be fine. Let's just check. One trailing arm. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's just got to be bolted on. And it will compress the rubber slightly, and then it will tighten up against the inner sleeve. Which is what it should be doing. So that's it. So I'll repeat the same thing with the one at the bottom, and that will complete all of the bushes that actually go on the subframe. So that's quite an achievement. That's good. That's all of the bushes done now on the subframe. You can see I did this bottom one as well here for the trailing on this side. So just to go over them again, this is the rear diff mount. This is a camber arm mount, and there's the one on the other side. These are the front diff mounts, these two. That is a trailing arm mount, and that is a trailing arm mount, and then we've got the four main bushes that connect the subframe to the body of the car. So that's it, all done. Now all I've got to do is do all of the control arms.